Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far Podcast Parks and Socials edition for the week of 12/6/23. I know we haven't done one of these in a little bit. It's been a minute, but John, there's been some happenings at the park, and you got to experience them. So with that, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, I don't get to experience a lot of firsts. So when I heard um, Luminous was going to, the new fireworks show at Epcot was going to premiere on December 5th, I got a reservation for that because, yes, uh, us locals still need one most of the time. But so. And then I heard that they're going to take some of the walls down around World Celebration too. And for those of you that don't know what it is, Future World behind Spaceship Earth, that's now called World Celebration. I don't know the exact borders of this place, but that's what it is. And I had to double check with a cast member. I walked up and said, before I post something, what is this place supposed to be now? Because I don't know. So I walked in, walked back past Spaceship Earth, and I saw a huge line, which I saw was people were saying it's at least a couple hours. And I didn't take a picture of it, but the first thing I saw was a family around Walt with a little kid on top of his head with his arms around him too. And I was like, it made me think immediately over time, there are going to be some, I guess that's not too negative to say, some crappy people that are probably going to take some pictures with Walt that are not going to be flattering, because this is literally just, you can sit by him, climb on him, you can go all around. And again, unless Disney keeps somebody there, Epcot is known for groups of people drinking a lot, especially on those summer nights and stuff. And they're all going to be walking by Walt at the end of the night. And, I don't like to be one to predict bad things in the future, but I've already seen some stuff that I didn't particularly think was that nice, like people with their elbows up on him and stuff. And I don't know, maybe that's just being playful and stuff, but in my mind, Walt Disney is from an era of old time respectfulness that they should probably just keep him away from the general public, is my guess. And I wanted to say too, what I noticed was people would come up, they would get their picture taken, they would do a bunch of pictures, they would switch places, put their camera down here, switch places again, different people. This is somebody else in line coming up to take both their pictures. This is after two separate photo shoots, each one. And again, they waited their time. But I feel like this is the problem with everything nowadays, like characters and stuff. Like when my daughter was young, I would see characters all the time, but now it's like, well, you're gonna have to wait hours. And the question is why? Well, this is the kind of thing that it just goes and it goes and it goes, and people don't really have a limit to how far they would go with that. And I saw one guy was there probably for a good 10 minutes. He put his bag down right there and he settled in, and they did every configuration, every phone, and again, I guess I'm just too, I'm very considerate of people. At least I like to think I am. And if I was there, I would say picture. I would have snapped a picture, said thank you, out of the way so we don't take up, everyone else. And it got to the point where it's like that because everybody does it. So everybody else is like, well, it's my time now. Now I'm going to do it. And again, it just makes the whole process just unbearable. And it's just, to me, it's the same with characters. So I did not wait to get my picture with Walt.
Let me
It
ask
took
you something real quick. Let me break in here, John.
yeah,
Where this was the first day of the statue unveiling, right?
yeah.
And so, do you think that a lot of these people were like social media types taking pictures? And I mean, were they
Well,
those
yes,
types of people? And do
yeah.
you think that maybe made it a little more on the extreme side? Is that part of it?
Honestly, I don't think they're more extreme because I've seen it all the time. And the guy that took the longest definitely was not social media. But I'm
Okay.
pretty
Okay.
sure this person was there for a long time. I'm pretty sure she was social media. That's the resort TV lady, so she's social media. Like I did see a lot of social media around, but again, they weren't doing any worse, or they were not taking any longer or shorter than anybody else. But
Sure.
so
Okay.
I'd have to say, to me, the problem is in general,
Okay.
just, and I know with the characters, like. A lot of people like to talk with the characters now too, and I especially noticed it with the Grinch when I was at Universal. I'm like, these people talk to them and talk to them. They're trying to get some kind of content out of it. But yeah, this kind of shows you where it is. So you can see Epcot back there. You can or Spaceship Earth. So that's where it is. And again, I hope that they kind of put a cast member nearby so we don't have any problems with it. But you take large thousands of drunk people and a statue of Walt that's completely accessible. I just I get a feeling something might happen, and I don't want to be right, but I probably am. Here is what used to be the Fountain of Nations. It looks like it was going to be a water feature, and then they filled it with dirt. Like sometimes people do that. They have a fountain that leaks. They fill it with dirt, put some plants in it, make use with what you got, right? That's kind of what this feels like. I'm sure that's not what it is, but it's got that feel to it. And here you can see the area in the middle. Let's see. I wanted to say too, a lot of people don't have a good feel for where they are too, because at night, I think I have it. There were multiple people trying to film the light show from across from this area here. People came along, said, "Wow, look at this view." Started taking pictures of each other. Then they sat down, right, and there's people all around recording them. And it was just they were completely either oblivious or maybe they don't care. But I was like, man, they're going to appear in a lot of YouTube videos because there was media people trying to record it, and they just walked right up and were like, wow, this looks like the perfect. I wonder why nobody else is sitting right here. It's like, yeah, because they're all recording it in that direction. So yeah, and there's the lady from Living by the Magic or whatever that account is. I don't follow it myself, but
Yeah.
it's been recommended to me ad nauseum. So apparently
It's
Instagram likes it. So
it's interesting. I I don't know. I mean, I can see this during Flower and Garden Festival
yeah.
as really having some cool features to it or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of possibility there.
Well, I was gonna say during the day it's pretty underwhelming, but I
Mm.
I, I, I do have lots of footage of it at night, and I also got lightning lanes because I didn't want to not be. I didn't want to sit around this area for 6 hours waiting for the fireworks. But here you can see a little bit of it too, like walking towards what it looks like. So I went on test track, and it was enjoyable. It's still not my favorite ride, but compared to some of the other rides I went on recently, I did enjoy it. Then I went back over, and here you can see some kind of artwork things. And I was talking to you earlier, and I thought to myself, wow, there's lights in the ground, and maybe there's some kind of reflective things, like something really cool is going to happen here at night. And I can tell you it didn't. You
Huh.
know, I think they're just, metal artwork. And again, the ground looks like Animal Kingdom. This looks like Star Wars. And then they do some geodesic sphere stuff on the ground because that's the new thing for Epcot. So apparently, if you make cubes and triangles, you got Epcot. So, and you can see over here, they're doing the same thing on the wall to the square building that they put up to
Mm.
replace the other building. They're putting Epcot, or I just keep saying Epcot, Spaceship Earth panels. I guess when my brain thinks of Epcot, I think of Spaceship Earth. So it's intertwined to me. And you can see you can see Spaceship Earth from there too. But I really don't know what this area is other than just a walkway. Like I went through it a lot and it wasn't like the area by Walt is very tight and small and stuff. But over here, there's a big area where maybe they'll put like food carts or something there eventually.
I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. I'm sure there's a story behind it, whether it was something that they built and decided not to finish, or whether it
I was going to
actually.
say, if you're thinking like an Imagineering story, I was going to be like, nah. There used to be a story with everything that had to be stuck to, but I don't think they really do that. But this is the view that Walt is looking at. So this is what Walt sees from the statue going out, and this is
Walt is definitely going to see a lot of drunk people there.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's ironic. He didn't even want any drinking in his parks, and he's in the most drinkingest park out of any of them. Like this is the place to drink. So
Well,
I didn't even
I think they're literally, that's supposed to be a beer garden over there at some point. If they scrapped it by now, I don't know, but
think they were going to. This was supposed to be a real fountain. There's supposed to be a beer garden. There's supposed to be the big festival center, like you said, to rent out and have parties and stuff. But all that stuff is not there right now. So anyway, I walked through this again, and it was the lights were starting to come on here, so you can see there the lights coming on by him. They
huh.
have the side. They have lights on the side, the bottom, those glowing lights there. But I did have some fast passes, so I went over to Soren. I got into an altercation with a cast member there. We don't need to discuss that. But I was right. Then I went over to Living with the Land, and just because it's so pretty this
Oh
time,
man, yeah.
that
Look at that.
I just appreciate that. And I took out my action camera, my DJI Osmo 4, put it really close to the ground and rode it around so that it looked like the whole room was spinning. I don't know, those things don't tend to show up on here very well, but you can see here, see how it's like spinning. It gave it kind of like a spinning kind of feel where you can see the whole room. So I like that kind of thing. But I have so much footage though that my issue is I tend to not use like 99% of it because you can't post. I could post Living with the Land, glimmering greenhouse stuff like 12 times a day for the whole month. I have so much. All right, and by the time I got out of there you can see the 100. By the time I got out of there, it was dark out. So I got to see a little bit of what it looks like here. And you can see in the video a little bit. And I've got a lot more footage too. So later on, it definitely looks better. But yeah, you can see it's a great view of Spaceship Earth. I did enjoy seeing the Beacon of Magic light shows on the back of Spaceship Earth from behind the Spaceship Earth instead of only in front of it. So that was nice because I really do enjoy that. And then coming up, you can see that area in the middle. This is what they were talking about, where they said, "Oh, the ground will light up and it will interact with Spaceship Earth and stuff." And it does. The lighting on the ground here and these bars kind of goes along with the Spaceship Earth light show. So, and it was very crowded. So I not a lot you can do with all the people, but that gives you an idea. And see the trees here too. They also blink and light up in color to match Spaceship Earth as well. Let's see. Yeah, there you can see it. And again, it's a very, very, very cool area. I have to say, I do like it. And I feel like they had a lot of original music there too, which was honestly pretty good. And I am not easily impressed with the music stuff. So I actually could live with the music there. I was like, it kind of matched, the original Beacons of Magic music, the classical music that they did for the very first one. It's like a version of that mixed through the area that kind of blends in with it. And I'm like, well, that reminds me of Epcot, like I remember it, just classic music specifically for that area. So,
by the way, they are actually taking that music and they're going to release it on Apple Music within the next few days, I guess. So there is an actual soundtrack that they are putting out there of that music. I'm very interested to hear it. So
yeah, like I said, I wasn't like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, but it also had a classic Epcot feel to it, which they haven't been good at doing that lately. So I was like, wow, that was good. And like I said, the way this stuff is all lit up at night, very cool. I mean, the first night it was way too crowded, but as time goes on, I think it's a nice area at night. And there's the Walt area. You see how crowded it is there? That's in front of the Walt area.
Yeah. I do like I like the lighting though. How they've put the lights in the ground like that, and they have the lights on those little poles over there.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that too. That's I think I have a video where you can see those areas much better. But yeah, they have these kind of lights all around.
Oh wow! Look at that. And here that's pretty neat.
See all the seats, tables all around.
Yeah,
very cool. And like I said, during the day, it just looks like, I don't know, a patio set, like not anything impressive. At night, it does give a nice feeling, and the lights all connect right inside of, even dare I say it, like the Connections Cafe has rings lit up inside the glass. When it's all connected, it looks a little bit less like a airport cafeteria.
Yeah, that's cool.
Less though, it kind of gives the area a little bit of connection throughout. I like that. So
it has Connections Cafe is part of the connective tissue, so to speak, of what they were trying to do. It makes sense.
Over there, I think, is Connections Cafe.
Yeah.
And you can see in this video, they have very long benches too. Like, I have never seen so much seating in a Disney park, ever. There is seating everywhere in the new area. There's tables, there's benches, there's seating, there's low curb things to sit on. And you know what it reminded me of? Remember the old Future World? There was a lot of walls you could sit on, like concrete, where you could sit all over the place. I thought they would get rid of that on purpose because, sitting people aren't spending money. Like at Magic Kingdom, they're like, we don't want you to ever sit down. keep walking, spend some more money. That's typically what they do.
Well,
But
wait,
here,
they're gonna put stands and make a beer garden out of that and put food
yeah,
and all that.
for now, there's nothing there, so you can get food at Connections Cafe and come out here and eat it. I saw
Hmm.
people doing it, so that was pretty cool too. You can't really see the connection here, but the lights inside there though they do kind of filter right over to that. Like I said, it's a connecting thing. And
How much,
I
by the way, how much better does it feel that this is now open and those walls aren't blocking your
well,
lateral movement from the part of the park to the part of the park? You know what I mean? Left to
well
right.
when you go over to the land side, there's still a lot of construction walls over that way.
Okay.
So, there's still a lot of it all around that building in front of the land. And on the side, there's like a narrow pathway to get through that's not. So they're not done, but it is nice that there's more. I almost felt like I was lost. It's been so many years that I don't remember that part. So, and here you can see that's a nice picture of it. Like that's pretty. And like
Yeah.
I said, when the ground glows, it does look nice. Like you can see it starting to change there. Oh, actually, that's a video. Yeah, it's just a short one. But I do think that's a cool spot, and especially because for me, you know, I I have to time. I like to sit up front and just watch that light shows the highlight of my trip to Epcot. So I can come back here and do it now too. So definitely a plus for me.
Yeah, I really like that. I mean, I'm taken in by lighting and things like that too, so that's
Uh,
pretty
they
cool.
they have stuff like this too around. Like this, there's like these fiber optic lights just popping out of the ground in the area and stuff like all over, and it's like a lot of lighting. And I know that's not the most expensive thing to do, but I really do appreciate that. So a lot of lighting. Um, and again, I'll show you more later. But the area going from there all the way back to Showcase is open now. But it had, well, it looks like this basically. It's cement planters, and then there's
Yeah.
a big cement planter with iron things, and there's uh, there's nothing there. Like it's just cement planters. So again, I was like, wow. I won't get into it too much, but since I paid for Lightning Lane, I decided I would. I was like, what's the hardest thing to get on? I was like, Ratatouille. I just did it. Frozen would be the next hardest, so I did it. I get in line. I'm going on it. It's like there's people with little kids behind me, in front of me, and I'm some creepy old guy in the middle, and I'm like, why did I even come on here? And then there's the people behind me they had very little kids, so they were, singing all the songs, pointing everything out. So it felt like I was a 2-year-old going on with my mom. That everything's like, wow, look at that, look at this over here. Do you see Olaf? Wow, wow. And I was like, wow. So I I'm riding it, and I'm like, I don't really care about Frozen. I don't have any little kids. And I thought to myself, here lies the problem with Disney, where Epcot used to be the place where adults like myself would be like, I love Epcot. I like the semi-educational rides. I like the weird stuff. But me riding Frozen, I'm like, this was dumb. I feel ridiculous even being here. And I'm like, and I don't even care about it. It's like, oh, whatever the Frozen songs are. I'm like, I'm not moved by it, and I feel like this is going to be the problem with Princess and the Frog too. Even if it's a decent ride, which with their track record lately, you got Guardians and everything else. So I don't know, but even if it is, you probably won't find me getting in line that often to say, oh, I want to see Princess Diana. I don't want to see Princess anybody, really. It's just not really. I like Haunted Mansions. I like Pirates. I like Space Mountain. I did like Splash Mountain, but again, princess stuff, it's that the focus of that is little girls for the most part. I just am not moved by it. I never have been. Like Princess Fairy Tale Hall, I've never seen it. I may never. I don't really. I don't care. It's like, yeah. Do you want to meet Aurora? I'm like, no, I don't. Not interested. But again, that's why people like me get upset with Epcot turning into that kind of stuff. It's like this was a really weird ride that taught you about Norway, and now it's
It tells the story of Frozen.
Saying, let it go, let it go. It's like that is a good song. I'll be the first to admit. But again, I'm sitting there on a boat with 1-year-olds going, ooh, Elsa. I'm like that. Disney's supposed to be for everybody, but again, Epcot was for us non-Disney adult kind of people, and that's why you could get a beer there. You can enjoy the countries, you can learn things, talk to people from around the world. It was like just a very special place. And again, for me, this ain't part of it. It just isn't. So again, I think one of the last times I was on this was when I went on with you, and you had the 2 little ones with you. So that's fine because there's little kids with us.
That's always going to be special for them because that's their generation, and that means something to them. My 21-year-old daughter loves that movie as well, and she used to watch it with them when she would babysit them. So that'll have meaning to them, but to us, it's like, I mean, I do like the show at Hollywood Studios, though. I will say that I really enjoy that sing-along show.
If you lived here, you'd probably get over it after a little while.
Probably.
Maybe not. Anyway, here is the middle section. Like this is from near World Showcase all the way down, and it is cool. You can see the globe from there. I think that's awesome. Like you can literally see it from all the way back there. It looks great. But here's what the whole thing is. See, it's a cement planter, and this metal bar, and that's it. That's a big planter.
Yeah, I'll say.
And it's got some speakers built into it, but that's what it is. Like, and it's more planters in the other direction, like further up. It's like there's nothing there. I don't remember what was there, but even if it's nothing, it's just planters now. So I don't know. And this is walking towards Spaceship Earth yet, going towards the middle part. And let's see. I'm sure I just walk right through everybody. I'm invisible anyway, so I might as well not stop. And there, as you get closer, you can kind of see, depending on what's going on with Spaceship Earth, you can see the green and blue, and it's green to match, like that. I got to give it to you. That's pretty cool. Like that's a very cool spot. Like I did enjoy that. I spent a lot of time right here enjoying this. So, but I'm sure everybody has already seen this so many times now. I did a lot of the same videos over and over again, trying to walk around, getting cool views. Oh, look, there's 1, 2, 3 janitors walking in a group. Hey guys. I wonder what they were doing. I wonder if there was garbage out there. I don't know. I didn't see any of them pick anything up, but they walked right through the middle.
Where everyone was taking pictures of each other.
They were doing that with Walt, too. There's a group of 4 that pushed their way through there. And I was like, man, there must be a lot of garbage up there. And nobody cleaned anything. I don't know. I need to be trained on janitorial. Anyway, that looks pretty cool. I wonder.
It doesn't.
I think this is from my action camera. like my Osmo 4.
Yeah.
I think I can't really tell without clicking more buttons, but
It's pretty impressive what they've done with this section as far as lighting and
yeah,
what the atmosphere that they're trying to create there. I think it's probably not done. I think they're probably going to end up putting like something food or whatever drink alcohol
yeah.
related or something in
Especially
there.
in this area. Like,
Yeah.
look how big it is. Like, this is a
Yeah.
big area, and it's got the. I do like that art, the cool artwork. Like, I think it's really cool, but there's nothing going on there, and I'm like, maybe it is just part of something canceled, kind of like the half a mile long planter. It's
Yeah.
like
I
that's
think it has to be.
I could do that. Hey, I don't know what to do. Just throw in a planter, I guess.
It's a shame because it would have been neat to see this all connected as one complete finished thing, as it was
Well,
intended.
I can tell you that the thing I was most excited about was the
The Cupcake Center,
the
the
festival center,
yeah,
because even if I didn't go in it, it looked like Walt's drawings of Epcot. That
yeah,
was enough for me. I know it's not going to be structural, but it said the skinny legs that grew in, and the
yeah.
angles, and just to see that in real life, I would have probably taken 1,000 pictures and videos of it and just said that was awesome. Loved it. I don't even need to go in. That's freaking awesome.
So
That
I
was
want to.
canceled.
Yeah, I do. What I like about the round lighting and all that kind of thing, and the lighting in the plants and the planters and stuff, it actually kind of reminds me, particularly the round lights and stuff, of like 50s vintage, decorations and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like that retro type futuristic thing going on there. I really like that.
And there you can see some of the color change from green to white and orange, and
It's
yeah.
it's pretty neat. I like that.
So yeah, and again, we probably have seen enough of this. Like I certainly take my time looking at this stuff. Yeah, there you see the lights that are sticking there,
Yeah.
and you can see them all around. And I didn't even show you. There are so many seating sections. They're on both sides. They're all over the place. Different ones where you can stand, sit, built into the walls, built into everything. I only showed you a little bit, but I was very hungry because I was there a long time, so I got my
Got your
salad.
salad. Yeah.
I definitely uh, like that. So, but anyway, I spent time then charging up my phone and getting ready for the fireworks. I sat in this chair, and you know, see how this chair they actually have the chairs you can sit and relax in, like the ones that lean back a little bit. And I'll show you what it looks at. Like, you pan over, there's a charging station, more chairs, picnic tables. There's Spaceship Earth. So
Oh,
I literally sat there for a while, relaxing on a cool night, dealing with my phone and battery stuff, preparing for the fireworks, while I got to watch my favorite light show on Spaceship Earth. So again, people are saying, it took them 5 years to put up a patio set in the back of Epcot. It's like, that's kind of correct, but it was enjoyable, especially at night. And like I said, there's a lot of these areas. I don't know why nobody was in them, but they were very empty. But I'm sure that'll change over time. But it's pretty cool though. Like, look where I'm sitting. That is a really cool
yeah.
spot at Epcot.
That's
I
right there
really
near
do think so.
Connections Cafe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I could have brought my salad out there, but I didn't feel like I would have ended up bringing it back in because I saw other people left it just sitting out there, and then the cast members have to come out, clean it up. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. I would have brought it back because I don't really know if you're supposed to do it. There's no tray areas out there. But I was like, I eat so fast anyway. I'm by myself. I just ate in there quick. But yeah, definitely. You know what I would like to see from this area?
Hmm.
I would like to see the fireworks from there. That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that the next time. Then I can just leave pretty quick after the fireworks. I'll watch them from down there. I don't know how much you'd be able to see, but
Yeah. There's Dogmageddon.
Yeah.
That's all right. I get that here too.
So let's see. Oh yeah, here's a pretty cool picture. I thought that looked pretty good. Like this is from there's the store, whatever cafe, and yeah, I like that. You got triangles again, spaceship Earth triangles. That means Epcot.
Geodesic.
At least now it does. So yeah, then I went back and we watched I tried to find a place to watch the fireworks. I don't know why I'm always so bad at it. I have a lot of videos from Canada, and I'm like, I'm going to Canada. That works well. This was the first night for Luminous, so it was completely filled, like just every inch everywhere. If you want to see a clear version of it, all the media people got escorted to the very front across from Italy, where you go down on the private deck with nothing in front of you. So, but anywhere else in the park, you're not going to see it like that anyway. So I mean, I would go there, but it's not realistic at all because you're probably not going to see it from there. This is more, you're probably going to see it like this if you see it with a bunch of people in front of you, not, front row, nobody around you, nobody to just push right in front of you, even if you did wait hours for the spot. And that's why I don't do that, because I would end up in prison after I strike somebody with a camera after I waited there hours and just have them go and then right up in front. They did it here though too. Like I had a spot where I could kind of see somebody came, backed up right in front of me and back, and they took the exact spot that I had, and then more people came in. They just took it, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, if only I could do what my brain is telling me I should do right now. But I like the free life myself, so I don't want to deal with the repercussions. But since it was Walt's birthday, I would say I wish I could do what would happen in Walt's day. If you're rude, you got a punch in the mouth, and you said, "Oh, I deserved it. Sorry," like that's. Now that would never work like that, but yeah, people literally did that. Like there, and I saw nothing. The guy saw the back of the guy's head. He literally went right in front of me, pushed back, and then had like his friends come in front of him. And I'm like, nice. It was, but lucky for me, I didn't like the spot anyway. So I'm not sure the timeline here. Yeah, this is where I started. And you can see there's a tree here. And it turns out all the fireworks are right over this barge thing here. Like in past shows, fireworks happened around. Like now they are just in that one area. And I'm like, well, this isn't a great spot for that anyway. So I backed out and moved. And I ended up going to an area by the France Pavilion. I was kind of near Morocco before, and I ended up going by the France Pavilion where I could see a more central view of it here. And my overall video is better, but it's too long because it's I use my gimbal and I had my arm up. I made sure nobody was behind me. I looked, I wasn't blocking anybody, and then I put my gimbal up so I could see over people's heads and zoomed in to see the fireworks. So I mean, I guess if I was just a normal person, I would have just stood in front of somebody and went like that,
Yeah,
backed
fair.
up, and said, "I don't care about that guy. I'm taking his spot." You know, it's like, oh, there's just something about that. I think being a guy, I'm like, you almost feel like,
Yeah, I've had that.
yeah, like people are dismissing you as
Yeah.
they don't care what you think. They can just take your stuff, and I'm like, oh, my instinct kicks in, and I'd be like, yeah, I would take that pretty far if there was a legal way to do it. I would not.
I had
I really would.
I've had that at Magic Kingdom a number of times for shows and stuff. So and I wasn't even really recording or anything. It's just,
Yeah, well,
people
they do it.
people just do it,
They
they
do it to
violate your
kids too.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. And so a lot of times I'll position my kids in a certain way, or the rest of my family to try and create like a bubble. And it
my
never works because during the show then somebody crowds into your space.
yeah. If you leave any space, if you're not pushed up against the person in front of you with
Yeah.
an uncomfortable closeness, well, they're going to take that space. Then they're going to take
Yeah.
advantage. So that's what they do. And again, man, I don't. One of
What
these
were you,
days,
what were your overall thoughts about the show though? Like what did you think?
well, I didn't really care for it that much. I have to say, it started out slow, a lot of narration and talking, and you know, uh, just a lot of parts where the fountains are just going and there's talking and talking and talking. They had a toy story, I think, part in the middle somewhere that I'm like, I I don't know where that came from exactly. It was pretty, but I was like, that seemed weird that it just popped out. And I personally didn't. I know a lot of people like the original song. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I have no memory of it. And even right after it was done, if you played it again for me right now, I'd be like, I don't know. Did I hear that before? To me, it was forgettable. Not bad, but not not great either. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. Again, I think it was like 16 minutes long, and I recorded the whole thing, but Amazon won't allow me to play it back because it's too long. Yeah, 16 minutes and 59 seconds, so almost 17 minutes. And I heard a lot of kids crying, like they were just wanted to leave. It was too long for a lot of kids. Um, there were way too many parts for me that got really slow. Like even Illuminations had that middle part was just too slow. If you couldn't see the globe, it was too small. Whatever. But there was a lot of that, and like I said, I don't mind a little bit of narration, but this narration was it was too much, like Illuminations had a little narration to start, and they were like, we're gathered around the fire, like people before, and then it was just done, then the
Yeah.
fireworks told the story. This kept kind of pausing with just water and doing more narration, and they were trying to tap into emotion by talking about like, oh, everybody, sometimes you find somebody special, and then eventually you're alone again and you're by yourself, but you're never really by. And I'm like, they're basically saying a bunch of stuff that's making people connect things to their life to what they're talking about. So if you had anything bad happen recently, might help make you upset or sad about it. And I'm like, that's just weird. Like that to me is it's like a false emotional thing, it's not real. Like uh, Illuminations was just Illuminations. I liked it. It was real. It did cause emotions, but just naturally it did. They didn't
Yeah.
say think about something bad, think about yourself. It's like, huh?
That's
That,
Wishes. Wishes did the same thing, right? So, and like some of the recent, not recent, but at least a couple of the Magic Kingdom shows didn't require all that narration, right?
yeah, they really don't. I don't like all the and I heard other people say that too, that they don't want to be told what they should be feeling by a narrator. It's like if the music can't do it, then it can't do it. But so I don't know. I watched the whole thing, and um, I didn't like Harmonious at all. But I think even Harmonious might have been better overall. I won't spend a lot of time watching it again. Like I do think the fireworks were pretty. If you're wondering what that is, that's where the special people get their own private. There's Bob Iger. There's no, that's not really. He would never visit Disney World.
No, not while all those people are. That's not true. I have seen him. I have actually seen him at Disney World
Oh,
before.
yeah, he
So
walks through quick and makes a
yeah,
face, and comes out.
him and Joshy, I've seen them walk through.
But yeah, I was gonna say the fireworks themselves are good, and here you can see. I think this is the finale of the fireworks, and you can see it. They did a good job with the fireworks. Whoever's in charge of pyrotechnics,
Yeah.
they did not skip like that. Like that's a cool effect. It's almost like a explosion effect where it's multiple things like a cloud, and they did a great job. So the fireworks were good. The music was not the best. The narration I didn't care for because it was just too much. Like I don't want to be told to think about this, and you're going to be alone, and this. It's like I don't know. To me, that was not a positive thing. But yeah, see the finale here.
Yeah.
That's
I
some classic Epcot explosion finale. That was
yeah.
nice.
I like the fact that they launched from all sides of the lagoon. I my understanding is that the original show, as it stood, didn't have that. And one of the manager, I don't know if it was Demaro or Iger, after seeing it, told them to go back to the drawing board and put that back in because it connected with people. That was one of the things that
Yeah,
really, that over the lagoon. And it might not have been those guys; it might have been someone lower level. But I
you're
remember
right.
reading that.
That too. I like to see stuff shot across and
Yeah,
go like arc across from all over. So
yeah,
I guess the only scary thing about that is if any of that stuff was mismeasured, imagine if they're like, "Oh, we hired a new guy. There's too much powder in it." It's like imagine going right across the whole lagoon.
yeah.
The local news would have a kick with that. Be like, Disney guest exploded with fireworks, and the next thing you know, they'd be like, Disney no longer shows any fireworks at any park anywhere ever again. It's like,
Yeah.
so I don't want that
Drones
either.
for now on.
I have a feeling they shoot those by air or something, not by
Yeah.
powder. It's like a so that there's powder, but that's not what's propelling it because
Yeah.
that gets scary. Like
It could be.
don't
I don't
want
know.
that. So, anyway, those guys know what they're doing. They never have a problem. So I don't. I have faith that they know what they're doing. But anyway, the fireworks they look great. I didn't care for the music or theme of it, but I am an old guy, so it was probably made by 20-year-olds because that's a lot of the Imagineers look like they're young, fresh college kids. So maybe young people will like it more, but from what I see, not particularly. The people who went with the narration said, "Oh, I cried. It was great." It's like, but I can honestly tell you, I get teared up watching stuff like like you watch like One Man's Dream, and you hear Walt talk about the parks, and you can hear his voice like breaking up because he loves it so much. You can hear it in his voice, like he's so attached to the idea of it, and that gets me a little bit. And like even Epcot Forever, there are parts of it that, man, it just like gets you right in the feelings, like
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's Child or something comes on, or it's like, but this had nothing for me. But again, maybe the new younger people, they want to be exploited with their feelings, just like social media does. It's like, wow, grab them by the feelings and manipulate them. Yeah, it's like that's what social media does. You know how many young girls, especially, have a lot of problems because social media hurts their brains.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that, except for YouTube. That's great. The other one, those are the bad ones.
Yeah, yeah.
This
Those
one will
other
be.
ones.
We're gonna get a notice demonetized for no
Yeah.
particular reason. It doesn't have community standards again. We've got that many times for some reason. I'm just saying, it's a known fact. If you talk to a psychologists or something, they'll say social media is difficult for young girls, especially. It can do a lot of negative things to them. So
Yeah.
mentally. So again, I don't know. But again, they seem to like this show better than me. So Disney might be
Oh.
onto something. They're not interested in me, and I'm all right with that. I've gotten to the point where Epcot was my favorite park, and I loved it, and it's not anymore, and it's becoming something. It's not Epcot, and again, I still go there. I like the countries and all, but it's rapidly becoming clear that they're not going to do anything in particular that's going to make me like it like I used to. So I don't know. I'll go on more cruises. So maybe I'll start a garden or something. I don't know. I don't. I don't have to have Epcot. So
You
it's
could
all good.
make you could make like a huge like concrete planter in your yard just like they did.
Yeah, but I don't really have the. They didn't inspire me, so I don't know. But I was gonna say, right now, Animal Kingdom goes back to being my favorite park,
Yeah.
only because it has the most originality left. But they got big plans to stomp that out.
Yeah. Yes they
They're gonna
do.
stomp that
But
originality
wait.
and theming and how everything's intertwined and makes sense. They're gonna say, and random thing here and random
Yeah.
that, smash that down. And it's like, so again, I feel like they just don't. I'm getting a very. It's kind of like the Hatbox Ghost thing. I saw that, and I don't really have a problem with it because I'm one of those guys who just goes through and I'm like, wow, that was cool. But people who actually like the Haunted Mansion, they said the ghosts don't appear till you see Madame Leota, and all of a sudden this one's just thrown in the beginning. It's like, that doesn't fit the story. And again, I don't really notice a lot of stories, but in the old days, every single thing Disney did had a story, and everything had to make sense. And whether or not you saw it or not, I think there's something deep in your brain that's comforted by everything making sense. And they don't do that anymore. Now they're just like, somebody said they must have had a plug there. So they're like, yeah, that works. Just there's a plug right here, throw them in. It's like, what about the story? Nobody cares about
Nah,
story anymore.
that's more important just to have an empty space to throw it in there, right?
Yeah, apparently that's the case. But it's like that with sight lines and just the entire Epcot park. That's proof that it's like just random. It's like, I don't know, nothing here, knock that down, throw in a water thing here. I don't know. It's there's no there's no overlying theme. Even Epcot used to have such a theme of the future and they had the pavilions all meant something and are very specific to what they do, and I
Yeah.
don't know. But anyway, I don't love it. Probably, I have no hurry to see it again. So
Well, that's kind of good for me because I could ride rides while it's going on. I have to see it once though, just at least to just check it out, and see what I think. I do like the fireworks aspect of these Disney shows, and I've never been a huge fan of the emotion-driven music. That's not meant to appeal to me. Like you said, but the narration part kind of bothers me. Like it sounds worrisome. Like I'll be very bored with the narration part of it. I just think these shows are meant to be done with music and the fireworks or the effects, So
I always liked the fireworks and the music to tell most of the story.
yeah, that's how.
And
Right.
I don't need to hear my favorite Disney anything. So
Yeah, especially not at Epcot. Again, I keep going back to that. I don't understand what they don't get about that thing at Epcot. Like really, these shows have been unpopular that put the IP in at Epcot. I don't understand. They can't force feed it. Like they've done a good job with the Moana thing. Like people will accept it because it is a pretty neat attraction. I'm not going to say that it's going to have staying power. Like you go see it once or twice, it's probably good enough, So I don't know. I mean, I think people accept it because they've done a good job with it. People accept Ratatouille because it's like a French theme. People accept Frozen because their kids love it, and so on and so forth. But the end of the night show, it just doesn't seem to have a place, right? It just doesn't fit. This isn't Magic Kingdom,
I was gonna say it's okay by me too because I don't like being out late. So
yeah,
I'm all right. If there was another good show, then I'd be tempted all the time to be out late. And
yeah.
like I said, I honestly would prefer not to. So it's okay. As a local, it makes my life easier. So
Yeah.
and again, don't take my advice on it. I don't know anything, but that's just my opinion is I don't care for the show. And I told you I heard kids crying and complaining that they wanted to leave. But also as I'm walking out, I'm in the middle of the crowd of real people. And I heard people talking saying, it just felt like something was missing. And I'm like, yeah, not surprised. That's all.
Yeah.
I did not hear anything positive, but then you go online and all the people who got, free media access and probably free lightning lanes and gift cards and free food.
They got to keep their access.
Area. Yeah. Then they go, well, here's some rationalizing on why I'll probably like it eventually if I really try hard enough. It's like a fireworks show is not that complicated. Either you like it or you don't, and you don't have to like it. So, convincing yourself that it might be all right eventually, that's not something I'm looking to do. I don't. It's like, yeah, here's some food. It tastes terrible, but if you eat it every day, eventually you might come to enjoy it or tolerate it fine. It's like, or how about I don't eat that? I don't know. I'm the kind of person that'd be like, I think I'll skip that. Yeah. I'm not looking to torture myself. If I don't like it, I don't. Fireworks are not a necessity for me, so I will use that time and do something else. Maybe I'll go to Animal Kingdom at night and great last couple hours there until they close it down for 20 years to fix it. So, and when that happens, that might be the end of it for me because I don't know. I'm almost 50 now. By the time it reopens, I don't know how old I'll be.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, John.
That's why they should fire Bob Iger. His bad decisions. He's not going to be around long enough to see what he did to the park.
That's true.
It's like they need a young CEO with little kids that they want the park to be good for them, or impress them. Be like, wow, when my kid's 15, I want him to go, wow, Dad, look what you did with the park.
Oh,
Instead, they got a
don't.
guy who's like, I'm already like 80. By the time I finish one project, I'll be gone. So I'll blame somebody else. Who cares?
That's all right, John. They got a guy up and coming and waiting. He's handsome. He's tall. He's younger. He'll get it all fixed in no time. He's the heir apparent, and when he takes over, don't worry. He'll make all the all the promises in the world and all the things. So we're in
Yep.
for another
Smiled,
Disney decade.
smiled and said yes to Chapek and
Smile,
Iger and everything.
yeah. But he's handsome,
Yeah,
so
that's the important part. As
yeah,
long as he's
yeah.
handsome, that's what makes a good CEO. I always
Yes,
say
absolutely. Tall, dark, and handsome. Hey,
that's
John,
what makes me good.
where can they find you online?
You could find me at SeeWDW on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and SeeUO on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, and you can find me at the Giant Rat, THEE Giant Rat, on all the socials. And that should do it for this one. We will see you on the next one.